Huh, that's a great question. I've been blessed, number one, to have a solid foundation with my mother and my father, establishing everything from when I was a young child. Soon as I was able to talk, walk, they implemented everything in me as far as the importance of education, self-respect, self-worth.
Every voice has a story. Every story has a moment.
Breaking the silence, taking the dive in. Nikki pulling strings like she playing the violin. Made in his likeness, radiant vibrance. Give them all glory, ain't no way to deny it. She gon' make you laugh, she gon' stimulate your mind. Making things shake, she ain't in no wasting time. They can come close, but can't imitate the grind. Got a different way to illustrate and innovate designs. BTS podcast, gotta watch that. Teaching us the game, that mean Nikki got class. If you watch it once, you gon' wanna stop back. This an opportunity that you cannot pass. Unleash your inner voice, cause better days coming. Better days, get ready for better days. Better days, better days. Better days, get ready for better days. Better days, better days.
Every voice has a story. Every story has purpose. Welcome back to another episode of Breaking the Silence. I'm your host, Arthur Nikki Nicole. Let's amplify voices, share stories, and unleash the power that's already within us. Behind every headline is a story. Behind every story is a voice waiting to be heard. And today's guest has built a platform dedicated to sharing those voices while helping shape future through education and opportunity. From his magazine to the community leadership, he's making an impact for beyond the page. So after the countdown, please welcome Mr. David Jordan Jr. to the platform.
Hey, yo, Swin, you done some greatness, bro.
Hey, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for coming and support my platform. That really means a lot to me. And what matters the most is that I'm shining a light on somebody that's doing an amazing thing. When I read your bio, I was like, oh my God, he's amazing. I can't wait to have a conversation with him. So before the titles, before the accomplishments, and all the recognition, who were you and what is one part of your story that people may not know?
Oh, that's a great question. I've been blessed, number one, to have a solid foundation with my mother and my father, establishing everything from when I was a young child. As soon as I was able to talk, walk, they implemented everything in me as far as the importance of education, self-respect, self-worth, a sense of history, and understanding how I got to the point that I'm at in this world when I was born, and how they got there, and how to take advantage of, the opportunities that will be presented to me, but also being able to have myself ready for all those opportunities and to seek them, having the knowledge and the patience and the wisdom and everything that goes with it. And of course, learning. Like I consider myself like a student of life in many aspects. It started out academically, and then athletically, and then professionally. And it's always been the common ground of, doing your best, expecting to do the best, and letting God do his work, and everything else will come to pass. Whether, we have our timing for everything, but, it happens in his time. And the biggest thing that I've always seen is things, they come to pass. The things that you have goals for and wishes, it might not happen when you want to, but if you stay persistent and you believe and you put in the work, you got to put in the work, it will happen.
Yes, I'm a strong believer on that. It took me a while to get to a point where I was like, you know what? Consistency matters.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what you're doing, you just got to really stay with it and do it every day. Do it as much as you can. And eventually, like you said, all that hard work will pay off.
Yes,
but
it's so necessary.
But you got to have God too.
Yes, have to. All things are possible through God. If you don't have that, then you're gonna be basically spinning in mud, like you're not going anywhere or doing anything.
Right, spinning in mud and quicksand and mud for real.
Yeah.
So now, you spoke a little bit about growing up and your parents instilling these goals in you and leading you in the right way. When you were growing up, what did you think you'd be doing with your life right now, and how different is that now versus the way you thought it would be?
Well, it's interesting. So when I was a young kid, like 4 or 5 years old, I remember I was like, I wanted to be a lawyer. And that came about, I just remember as a kid, late night, like my dad and my sister would be going to bed, my mom would be up, but we'd be watching Perry Mason late night. So from that, that piqued my interest. And then from there, I was like, I might want to be a doctor. But then in second grade, I became introduced to the game of basketball. And so that took over my life. Like that was everything that I wanted to do. And, from there, I was able to, number one, excel academically, and then also athletically, because I knew if, parents made it clear from day one, if I didn't have the grades, if I didn't do what I was supposed to do, I wasn't going to be playing anything. And I loved the game, still love it, and was able to pursue that. And that turned into an opportunity to play Division I NCAA basketball, and then also playing on a professional level and being able to pursue that. And so, I had my time frame of how everything would happen. It didn't necessarily happen in that time frame, but I was able to accomplish it. And in the midst of that journey, I became a part of education and the aspect of teaching and different things like that. That was one thing I never thought I would do. I always said I would never teach and I would never coach. I never wanted to do that. But I did it. Initially started teaching after I completed my undergraduate degree when I was still playing. So in times when I wasn't playing, I would be teaching, and it was it was a great experience, seeing the impact that you have on kids, not even being conscious of it, because we all think when you think back, you remember the good teachers and you remember the bad teachers. You remember the ones that treated you, remember how people treat you, remember how people made you feel. And my thing was just being authentic, like same way that I'm having a conversation with you, I would have a conversation with students. And then in that aspect, was able to during that time, completed my master's degree and basically just capitalized on all types of opportunities, things that came to me. Like I still had my goals and pursued that. But it was like when I was, like I said, as a kid, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer initially, and then doctor, then, like everybody, the pursuit of the MBA goal. And I mean, I got close. I had the opportunity to work out for, at that time, then D-League team and affiliate of the Memphis Grizzlies, and still was able to, pursue my goals and have success. And, in the midst of it, when you're doing it, you're thinking about one thing. But then as time has passed and I reflect, I'm like, wow, I really did achieve this, achieve that, and have more appreciation for it. Because at the time, you just see the one thing that you're really going after. But it's like, hey, I was right there. It's a lot of people that don't get that opportunity at all. And that's what I'm so grateful for, that, despite many obstacles that I encountered, that I was still able to pursue my educational goals and have an impact on young minds and also people that were adults, and providing a positive outlook and positive information for people to grasp and have.
It's funny how, when you're growing up, you say, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a nurse, all these things, right? And the one thing that you really don't want to do, you end up being great at it.
Yeah, that's how life works. And, it always goes back to God has a plan that we don't see, and it's in us, and
You can't run from it either.
Can't run from it. The journey is going to carry you there. It might, you try to do what you think you're supposed to do, and it doesn't, come together the way that you expect. But all through that, those stepping stones, those obstacles, those people you meet, those experiences and everything shape you so that you can be able to flourish in the purpose that God has for you. And when you are actually in it and you can actually look back and see, well, wow, now I know why that happened and why I was doing this. Didn't want to do it or didn't know why I was doing it, but it helps set a foundation for where I'm at right now and the things that I'm doing.
There you go. I believe that God takes us through certain seasons and chapters in our lives to get us where we're really supposed to be. We might not understand everything that he's doing, but when we get there, we look back over our lives and we're like, you know what? Yeah, okay. I see why you had me to do that. And I was upset in that moment, but I'm glad you did it.
Exactly. That is so true. It's so real. It's so real.
Right. So now let's talk about your magazine. Okay, so a lot of people see the finished product, but not the work behind it. So what are some challenges you have faced while building? Is it ESHE Magazine?
ESHE
Magazine.
Yeah, ESHE Magazine. So, well, I can just go back to how it started. So everything with the publication, like I got my undergraduate degree in communications, broadcast and emphasis, and then I got my MBA in marketing. And so in the midst of me completing undergrad and playing ball, I knew that I wanted to do something within the media space. Like I knew whether it was television or radio, which I had a bigger preference at the time for radio because it was more interactive with the audience as opposed to television and scripting and newscasts. Like you're just going straight off of whatever's in front of you, as opposed to radio. You can have actual dialogue, discuss subjects, bring forth information, and inform the public in real time. So that was my interest. And then fast forward to 2014 and into 2013, I had been working at this hospitality company, senior marketing specialist there, and they eliminated my position. Like they literally eliminated my position out the blue. And from there, I didn't have a job. And, I was seeking opportunities, and, it was crazy because at that point I had, like I said, I had my place and everything, but ended up having to move home, lost my place and stuff, had to move back home, my parents' house and everything. And in the midst of that, just trying to continue to go forward with things. And I remember one day my my mother, she came to me. She was like, you should start a magazine. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea, because the opportunities that I was seeking in media and communications, it wasn't a lot of them. And then it was also the aspect of, I consider myself, I know that I am a true journalist. Like, I'm not somebody that just does things for clickbait or what is the hot topic that everybody talks about. So from there, I laid the groundwork starting March 1st, 2014. And another aspect of that is because, I've do the research and everything, just like as an athlete, you're going to check the competition, you're going to check the field and all this stuff. But my publication is the first digital publication, period, all the way. And that can be fact checked. Like, it's not listing mine, but I see the other ones that came out there a year later that year, but that was after the date which I established mine. And so from there, March 1st, 2014, I just laid the foundation of coming up with the name, the subject matter, the focus, the intent of it. And it was a day-to-day process. I mean, it was a day-to-day process of writing out, okay, this is what I want the first issue to be about. These are the people I want to talk to. These are the subjects I want to cover, what I want to write about, and people I would like to collaborate with, and everything in that capacity. And launched the first issue the end of that year in December of 2014. And I was blessed that my very first cover story was Chuck D from Public Enemy. I had reached out to him initially, because what was funny, and it also shows you that, things happen how they happen. Because I remember initially I had reached out to a person that was local. At the time I was living in Tennessee, I was living in Memphis, and reached out about wanting to conduct a feature interview about the things that they were doing. And they asked me, like, hey, are you working with the Commercial Appeal, which is a local newspaper? And I said, no, I'm launching my own publication. And I never heard anything back from them, because it was like in their eyes, that wasn't big enough, or it wasn't important. And, I didn't let that deter me. I was just like, okay, that's your problem, not mine. And reached out to Chuck D, and, forever grateful to him. He got back with me immediately, because at that time, PE was on a international tour in the UK. And it was the same year that Public Enemy was going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It was the 25th anniversary of Fight the Power. And he was like, hey, we're out of the country right now. I'll be back in end of June, almost like around the same time as this right here. And we'll do the interview. And literally, he landed at the airport, called me on the phone. We talked for 3 hours. And that was what put everything in motion from there. And through that, he connected me with another person, Jalil, who was part of Public Enemy 2.0. And that was, that carried to that. And, it's been a domino effect of encountering great people, because my goal is to, number one, ESHE's motto is like, your life, your thoughts, your world. So my thing is going to the actual source, or people that have been a part of the history, or made the history, or have the information, the knowledge and wisdom of whatever the subject matter is, or have did these experiences. So I've just continued to build on that, and initially starting, like, it wasn't easy, because I'm navigating basically, like, I know media, know how it works and all that time. But when I launched it as a strictly digital publication, because I knew the way that the world was going. Like, people weren't going to the store to buy magazines unless they just want a specific cover, but you could reach more people with the sharing of a link immediately across the world, rather than having stuff on a newsstand and not being able to reach everybody, even though you may have great content. And so from there, it was a all day, all night process. I mean, you have ideas come to you all the time, and when it's yours, you know exactly what you want to do. And when you have that perspective. There's not a limit to what you can do in the pursuit of excellence and greatness. And everybody's not going to see your vision. There were many times, even me, up until today, even till current time, that you meet and have conversations with people that may not understand or see the vision or, anything in that capacity. But that's not something that's going to deter me from going forward, because I've been blessed to get to the point that I am now by, number one, trusting God, and number two, making it a priority to do the right thing. And like you said at the beginning, is just highlighting the great things that people are doing all over, because there's always people that have questions about certain things or certain topics, or questions about certain people's background and history, because they're looking for, you can find inspiration in everything. So when you're able to provide that through a media outlet and connect with the world, that's number one, is something that's going to be there forever, and people can always reference that, and you're able to have a positive impact on
But you know what I believe? I believe that anything that's aligned with you, there's no struggle. Everything would just fall in place.
Yes.
But sometimes we want things to align with us that there's no place for it. It was like that with me too. It was a couple of people I reached out to the same way, but I end up with bigger and better things. People that needed the spotlight, people that deserve the spotlight, but it doesn't stop you. Like you said, it's an all day, everyday situation where your mind is flowing of ideas. Some people are like, when are you going to get some sleep? I stay up all night, every night, because they don't see the vision like I see the vision. And I sometimes think the vision is bigger than me.
Yes.
That's why it's hard to carry, because it's bigger than me.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't let that make you give up, because sometimes, it will discourage you. But I'm going to share something with you for the first time ever. I've been trying to launch a magazine for about a year now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been rough.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's rough because I don't know if I want digital or something tangible, because the baby boomers like things that they can hold.
Right.
So it's just been rough, but I've been trying to launch that magazine. And every time I sit on it, same way I did the podcast, I sat on it for like a year, and then boom, everything just fell in place. But I'm struggling getting it out of there in this new age, in this new world of things, wanting things digital. It's a struggle. So my question is, what do you do when you first start out? If you want a magazine, what is the very first thing you're supposed to do?
Well, the very first thing that you should do is identify what you want your magazine to be about. Like, you have to know that, okay, these are the specific subject areas that I want to cover, and this is what I want it to be about. I mean, you have people that have car magazines. They focus on cars, whether it's new cars or classic cars. Like, you have hot rod magazines, they just highlight old school cars in there all the time. You have basketball magazines that highlight pro basketball players, and you have some that just do straight college. And then you have some that are music magazines where they might highlight classical music or classical musicians. So you have to have a total grasp and understanding what you do. Because if you know what you want to do, then you can build from there. A lot of times people sometimes may have ideas about different things that they might be related, but if you don't have the solid, you can't build out from that. It's like, if you have you can see you have people that have a fitness company. Initially, they may start out with fitness, just workout routines and everything else. And then from there, they might start creating dietary plans. That wasn't a part of the initial thing, but it relates to that. And then from there, they might start selling workout apparel, and then they might build a gym. But it's like, you have to have that solid thing for what you want to do. So if you're starting a magazine, you need to know the subject area that you want to talk about. And then from there, you can build. And it's a one day at a time type process, but you have to have that. And then you come with the name, understand how that relates. And then you also figure out the demographics of who you feel that your audience may be. Because if you're putting out good content, you're going to have plenty of people outside of maybe your demographic that would have interest in what you're doing when it's pure, genuine, authentic information that can help people. Because everybody needs help. Everybody wants information, and you can find it anywhere. But you, as a publisher, you have to know, okay, this is what I want to do and why you want to do it. Like when I started, I knew that there was a seemingly lost aspect of media that dealt with positivity, because so much stuff that happens negative, that's what you see all the time. And it's not just that. It's not just celebrities that are doing great things. There are people all over that are doing great things, but you don't hear about it or you don't see it. So my thing is just highlighting, I knew I wanted to do positive stories and positive features, and historical things, because there's so much stuff related to history that people don't know, and it's not getting passed along, and it's worldwide. So it's many times that, I've put out different features, and some of the ones that have generated the most interaction is something that I necessarily didn't think. Well, I mean, I knew it was historic. I knew it was important. But then you'll have people that say, hey, I didn't know this, or I hadn't heard of this person, or I didn't know this. So that's when you know you're doing the right thing. But it's really just about identifying what you want your magazine to be about. And then after that, you can build. But you have to be solid and firm in what you want it to be about. You can't deviate. You can't change, because you might say, I want to do this, but then you see somebody doing some stuff on gossip, and then you want to add that aspect. And it's like, no, you're not being true to yourself. And that's like a flash in the pan. That comes and goes. That doesn't build a genuine and authentic following. If you put out some stuff that just deals with headlines or gossip, yeah, people might look at it, read it, get some high click rate and all that. But that's not news that's going to be talked about 20 years from now, because somebody did something crazy and you talked about it. But if you have something of substance about a study or a particular person or a historical event, you can always refer to that, because that's what we do. You and I, as people, we might see a newspaper article. A lot of newspaper articles from the past now are online. And if we're looking up something, we might be able to read something about somebody that, oh, I didn't know that this happened to them. Because you see it all the time on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, that younger generation will be talking about, did you know this, do that? I knew it because I lived it in real time. I saw this, like with the Michael Jackson movie. Like, it's so many people, new fans, that, I mean, granted, he's MJ, he's the greatest, but they'll talk about things they didn't know this and that. But it's like, none of that has still been continued, those things, and being presented and to the next generation. So it's like having substance and having a foundation of what you want to talk about in your magazine, that will carry everything forward. And when you know that, ideas will just come to you. They'll constantly come to you.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I think I'm already there. I'm just scared. That's it.
First step. You got to take that step.
Now, as someone who interviews people for a living, what's one story or conversation that has stayed with you for a long time, even after it ended? I know you done did so many.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Give me like 10 seconds. I'm trying to run through. Just think. I think it's honestly, I can say probably 3 interviews that I've had where it was just impactful. Number one was Jim Brown. Talking to Jim Brown, knowing everything that he did as a person, not just an athlete, but as a person of concern for his community, and wanting to make sure that everything was done the right way to ensure opportunities for Black people, especially at the time that he was doing it. Like, I look at people like him, he was a part of the Ali Summit when Ali refused, he wasn't going to the Army. And these athletes of that time stood with him in solidarity. And that was major. And just talking to him about his entrance into Hollywood and how that came about, and how, for him, again, it was the connecting of fellow athletes and fellow professionals in education and law and medicine to create unions to encourage the building of financial institutions and those things that would have a lasting impact beyond him. And then also talking with Dick Gregory was extremely impactful, because I always heard him say, like, people would say, like, knowledge is power, but he always stated, and I remember asking him, he was like, no, information is power. Because you can be smart but not have the information. If you got the information, you know what's going on, you know what happened, and everything in that capacity. So information is power. Knowing the reason for something, or why, or what might be about to happen, you can have a positive impact. There are plenty of smart people that don't know what happened today in the stock market. They're extremely smart, but they can't tell you, hey, you need to check into this stock, or you might want to sell this. If you have that information, then you need to move forward. And one of the last ones was an interview I did a few years back, but it kind of resurfaced itself recently, was Kiki Shepard from the Apollo. Because in talking to her, I asked her, I was like, what was the most impactful or memorable performance that she had seen during her time? She saw everybody come through there from her time there, from the mid 80s all the way up into the 2000s. And her answer kind of surprised me, because she was saying that the most impactful performance she saw was Kirk Franklin and the family. When they came, I think it was in 95 or 96, and they performed a few of his songs and just was talking about the sense of like just the spirit that was within the theater and the crowd and the energy. And you wouldn't expect that, considering everybody that it came through, especially at that point in time, because he was a new artist. But that's somebody that she was talking about nearly 30 years later in his performance. And it was like, I had to go back and watch, because I remember at that time when they were on there, but I went back and watched it, and it was just like the entire theater was just so together. And, music is everything. Like, it connects people no matter what. And to have that energy and have that impact at the world's most famous theater, that's amazing.
That's amazing. Wow. Out of all the people, those are the good days though with Apollo. I used to I couldn't wait to see that at night. Turn that
Every
TV.
Saturday.
What? My God, this generation don't know what they missing out on, but now things are just so much different than it was then. It would seem like it was easier but hard at the same time back then. Just like I was telling one of the music artists, we had CDs, cassette tapes. I said my mom had record players. I even bought my mom a record player because I like the way that the needle just bounces off of the record. I love that kind of stuff. Now everything is just stream.
Right.
They need to live in our era for just one time. They'll understand. Even watching TV was different back then. Everything was different.
Right.
So,
Everything was anticipated. Like you had to wait in front of TV. So, and that in itself enabled the performers to put on their best, because it wasn't like how social media now, you can just see people all the time. It's like, hey, such and such is going to be on the show this weekend, so I'm not going to want to be home to watch it. And if I'm not there, I'm going to record it and then watch it. Yeah. So it's definitely a difference in time with everything.
Everything. Now, I like to, at the end of the interview, I like to take you a little bit deeper, make you think a little bit with the last 3 questions. So I'm going to make you think this time. You'll be like, give me 10 seconds.
Okay.
All right. So if a young person came to you today and said, I don't know what I want to do with my life, what advice would you give them today?
Number one, I would ask them, what is it that you really like or love? Like, what is it that you like or love? It could be anything. Like, you don't limit people to saying, well, it's got to be this or that. It's like, what do you like and what do you love? If you would do it for free all the time, then that's a passion. So I've asked people that, like, what do you like? What is your passion? Because your passion, you can like something, but you might not be passionate about it. But if you have a passion about something, you're going to do any and everything to try to ensure that it comes forward to you and that you're able to do it. So that's the one thing I would ask is, what is your passion? What do you love? And then from there, that would carry the conversation.
That's so true, because I think it takes a long time for a lot of us to understand what our passions are. We grow up knowing that, okay, we got to get a job that's going to pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, if we would have just stuck with what we had a passion for, that passion would have paid the bills. But we go
Right.
around the bend, do everything. Parents say, go to school, get your education, get your degree. Yes, but if you don't have a passion in what you're getting that degree in, it's gonna fail, because you're gonna come right back around to what you actually love to do and make
Yeah.
money.
Mm-hmm.
So now, when it's all said and done, what impact do you hope people remember you for, not as a journalist, but as a person?
I hope people will remember me as a person that, number one, was genuine in my actions and words, and just knowing that I try to do things and make things better for people. Like, I'm not I want everybody to be successful and have joy in their lives, and I try to be a light for that in whatever capacity that I can be, whether it's, you know, just a simple hello or speaking to somebody. I mean, you never know what people are going through, and just being a positive light, sharing my experiences, because, experiences that we have as individuals might not seem like much, or just seem like any random thing to ourselves, but other people can really draw from it. So it's like being able to be an inspiration to people through life experiences or my experiences with other people. Because there are times that people may ask, like, hey, how was it with this person, or doing this or that? And I can tell them that might help. So at the end of the day, it comes back to just being a positive person, and being somebody that can be helpful and genuine and loyal in that capacity.
I say all the time, we don't know what people are going through. I work in customer service, so you never know what people are dealing with. I was at work one day, and a customer came in, was really irate. Like, I'm talking about ready to throw something at somebody.
Yeah.
But I didn't match the energy. And I just talked them calm, and this was nice. What is the concern? How can I help? Because I'm a manager. So I was like, how can I help you?
Mhm.
And they calmed down, and they told me what they wanted and what they needed. And we went on about our business. It was like, how was you able to just de-escalate that situation? Like, just be kind.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't know what that person went through before they came through them doors. You don't know what they experienced. Just be kind. That's it. And you can get through anything in this life.
Mhm.
So my last question, the least favorite part of the show that I have, is, if you could sit down with your younger self for 5 minutes, what would you say?
If I could sit down with my younger self, I would probably just reiterate not to be more, I guess, in the moment. Like, embrace everything, the good and the bad and the unknown, but do everything that you're supposed to do right now. Like, to me, I did that, but it's like, when we're kids, we're always thinking about the future. I want to do this, I want to do that, this, and that. And you have stuff planned out. And just understanding that, okay, if it doesn't happen this way, it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. So it's just really just a matter of not being consumed, if you want to say consumed with the future. It's just continuing to do what you're supposed to do. Everything will come together. So I guess that's what I would say to myself, is just, don't worry about, because I mean, now I don't, I do what I do, and I know how we said earlier, like if something that I want or anticipated happening didn't happen, I know that something better will come along. And, before something might not happen, it might seem like it's the end of the world, and you got to figure it out rather than just trying to go forward. But it's just like, knowing everything work out and not being consumed with the unknown.
Right. But if we just understand that everything is on God's time, we'll be all right.
Exactly.
It's on His time. It's not our time.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be all right. So now I'm going to pass the mic to you. This is your moment to let everybody know how to find your magazine or anything you want them to know about what's going on right now currently and how to follow your journey in general. So after the countdown, I'm passing the mic to you.
Okay.
All right. So before I pass the mic, I just want to say thank you. I am grateful to be able to converse with some amazing people doing amazing things every day and share them with you so you can know about these people. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting Breaking the Silence. It means the world to me. So if this space has inspired you, challenged you, or made you feel seen in some type of way, do me a favor. Subscribe to this channel, like this episode, share it with someone who needs it, and drop that comment and let me know you're here because I want to hear your thoughts. Your support means everything to me. It keeps these conversations going. So now, let me pass the mic so you can know how to get in contact with this amazing guest. So let's get back into this episode.
My name is David Jordan Jr. I'm the founder and editor-in-chief of ESHE Magazine. Be sure to follow ESHE Magazine on all social media platforms at ESHE Magazine. Go to the website, eshemagazine.com. Be sure to subscribe for exclusive content. Everything is related to education, medicine, history, fashion, and sports, and perspective-based interviews. Factual information that is exclusive, it's rare, but it's real. Additionally, I'm a board member of the Dr. Richard Barnett Foundation. This is an educational foundation that was founded by Naismith Basketball Hall of Famer, two-time NBA champion, and 10-time Hall of Fame inductee, Dr. Richard Barnett. Dr. Barnett was the first NBA player to obtain a PhD, and during his post-playing career, he taught on the collegiate level in New York and started this foundation to ensure opportunities for high school scholar students to attend college, obtain internships, externships, and career opportunities. And you can connect with me also on that site at drbfny.org.
All right. But thank you once again for coming and supporting me. We're locked in for a lifetime. If there's anything I can do on my end, I got you.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate that. Like I said, I'll look for the emails and everything, and I'll definitely follow all your platforms. And like I said, again, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone else out there that's joining us for this conversation tonight. Listen, I've said from day one that we're in it to win it together because it's easier together. So remember that your story matters, your voice matters, and no matter what you've been through, there is power in speaking your truth. So if today's conversation has inspired you, challenged you, or maybe encouraged you in any kind of way, make sure you subscribe, share, and leave a comment below. Let me know you're here. Every share helps another voice be heard. So until next time, keep walking your purpose, keep trusting your journey, and most importantly, keep unleashing your inner voice. Later, everybody.
Better days Slowly but surely it's a better space that'll waste my mind, so I meditate till I levitate, I elevate, but I learn not to hesitate no more, keep moving forward, chase my goals and focus more towards it, hate the lows but I need those to flourish, place my goals in front, that's what's important. So I ask myself what inspires me, breaking out of my shell, feeling yo shot quiet me, and now I'm breaking the silence like I'm Nick in the cold, let's go. Promise you gon' see better. Hey, gotta keep going till you see them. Promise you gon' see better. Hey, you gotta keep going till you see them.